Hey, mate.
And we're live. Good to see
live.
you, mate. How you doing?
Another spiritual talk, mate, and here we are.
Here we are again.
Here we go again. Another Wednesday, another great guest.
Another Wednesday, another great guest, and thanks to Leanne for stepping in.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't thank Leanne enough. So we've had to have a change of guest because our lovely guest, unfortunately, her mum has been taken ill in hospital. So we wish you guys well, hopefully for a speedy recovery, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, blessings to you all.
Yeah. But how you doing, mate? Should we say hello to some of the people coming on?
Hi, Carol. Good to see you.
And Carol, and Becca, and we've also got Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Shirley as well. Hi, Lou, as always.
It's great to see you guys. But we got some exciting news to share as well that we want. This has been in the back burner for a little while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
So we're going to do another live, aren't we? Another live program once a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just going to quickly add this to the stream so people can see. So there's spiritual talk, the paranormal experience. Okay, it sounds a little bit dramatic, but we actually want to talk about all things paranormal. We want to invite people in that have had experiences. Also, I don't know about you, mate, but I get sent a lot of videos and pictures of unexplained things, and it'd be lovely to share that within this as a program. So
it gives us something else to sort of focus on, doesn't it? And bringing other people in, share their particular stories and anything that can spring conversation into action as well.
Absolutely. So look out for that, guys. If you want to send in your videos or photos to me on that email, just send them in. Also, mate, do you want to put your email address up later if you want to?
Yeah.
People know, but we don't mind. Just send us your videos and clips, and we'll get you guys to come in and explain your experiences. We don't mind that. And maybe it's not just about hauntings. It's also about your own personal experiences with spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
Loved ones that you feel around you, or we can talk about that kind of thing as well.
It doesn't have to be frightening stuff either.
No,
it can be just general conversations that you've had with friends, family, anything, even like a air on your face or something at the corner of your eye, anything that you may think is basic is actually big as well. So
anything to take the fear out of spirit.
Absolutely.
A lot of people fear it and they don't need to. So let me just remove this. And also, I shouldn't forget, actually, I'm at Roydon for our first live psychic night demonstration of mediumship with myself.
Excellent. Good luck with that, mate, as well.
Mate, thank you. We're looking to do a few more, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Get some down in Glastonbury as well.
Oh, I can't wait for that. And spiritual talk banners are going up, I hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So I look forward to seeing everybody that's bought tickets to come to Roydon. So I look forward to that. And, mate, we need to talk about our guest.
So, yes, Leanne.
Yeah, well, 6 o'clock tonight, Paul Kerry. Her mum's been rushed into hospital. So this lady, I run her at the blue, and she's agreed to be our guest. So it's Leanne Truesdale. Let's get her in. Let's say hello. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, everyone. Hiya. Thank you for having me on here. I feel blessed tonight.
Thank you for stepping in last minute.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming in last minute. Yeah, absolutely.
No problem.
So you're a medium in your own right.
Yep.
You've had quite an interesting journey, and in spiritual talk, we'd like to know your personal journey. What happened to you? How did you get into mediumship? Was it from a child?
I would call myself a late developer. I've always had a sense that spirit was around me ever since I was a child, probably from about 5 years old. I could see spirit around me. I could see shadows, and I just had a sense that there was something more going on. But as I was sort of growing up, I blocked my gift out through fear. And it's the usual. It's through religion, and if I had said I seen something or I feel a particular way, it was always sort of just brushed off. Like I always remember, especially as a child, I would have like panicky feelings within inside myself, and I never really knew what it was. And from my understanding, it was spirit that was coming, you know, that was coming into my field and wanting to communicate or whatever. And I remember even, I was what do you call that when someone is, you know, constantly going to the doctors? Hypochondriac.
Contract, yeah.
Yeah.
Even as a child, you know, I would complain of stomach pains and things. And looking back at that age, it was because I was picking up on spirits, maybe their ailments and things. And so I stopped. I basically blocked it. I blocked the gift. And as I was growing up, I would maybe see spirit again and stuff. But it wasn't until my early 30s that I had a childhood trauma. I meant to say that I had a childhood trauma, and it came back to haunt me when I was in my early 30s. And at that point, I was doing a lot of drinking alcohol.
Oh, right.
To block out. Now it's just me being honest. This was my story, and I drank a lot of alcohol, which took me to a very, very low point in my life in my early 30s.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where it was like I actually got onto my knees and I prayed that if there was anything out there, could you help me? And that was the changing point for me. Spirit, you know, started to come in. You know, my family, my loved ones started to come in, and I received the help. I went to AA to help me to get off the alcohol because it was pretty bad for me. And the funny thing is that when I stopped drinking, I'm coming up to 6 years sober in November.
Well done.
But when I stopped drinking, that was the point where I was starting to feel things again. I was starting to sense spirit around me. And I did have a few experiences, which probably would go into your paranormal thing that you're doing. I had some experiences that weren't particularly great. I have a better understanding of them now. But I got into AA, got myself sober, and that's when my spiritual side really came to life. And I was actually in a meeting one night, in an AA meeting, and someone came up to me and they said to me, Leanne, you need to find out why you drank. And I knew why I drank, and it was because of my trauma that I had from childhood. So long story short, I received help, you know, through counsellors and things to help me to heal the trauma within inside myself. And the same person actually said to me in a separate meeting, he said to me, Leanne, I know a really good, genuine medium. I think maybe it would be a good idea if you went to see her. And I kid you not, like this lady, I don't know if she'd want me mentioning her name, but her name's Steph, so she'll know she'll know who I'm talking about. And she lives out near where I am now. And I went to see her, and I swear to flip, back at that point in my life, I was hiding myself. You know, I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything, and I was struggling being a single parent as well. And I went to see this lady, and from that moment, she completely changed my life. She helped me to have a higher understanding. She was able to put my mind at rest. You know, she was able to tell me that there was spirit around me. My grandfather was with me. Just the whole reading that I had with her was completely mind-blowing. And I remember leaving her that day, and she actually told me as well that I am a medium. And that was the start of me on a self-discovery onto my spiritual side. It hasn't my whole, so I'm coming 40, by the way, on Sunday. And yeah, so from the age of, I would say from the age of 33, right up until now, my whole spiritual side it's been really mind-blowing. Like, I would get what I call downloads, like light bulb moments where something just clicks with you. I need to retract there. So 3 years ago, I stopped going to AA because I knew I had to concentrate on developing as a medium. And I had to make a decision, and I stopped going to AA. Now, it's not for everybody, but this was right for me, because I was picking up a lot of stuff, and within the groups and stuff. So I decided to leave that. And it's my spiritual side, it's my loved ones and the angels on the other side, and my guides that are that help to keep me going and keep me on the right path. But it's been up and down. I'm actually in a mediumship circle at the moment as well. But yes, really, the question that you're asking me, it was down to the fact that when my trauma and stuff came back to haunt me, it was like the tower moment. So my life really crumbled down around me, and it was that propelled me onto my spiritual path. And I can't go back. It's been a constant daily learning experience, learning about how spirit works with me, how I deliver messages, but it's also on a deeper level. For me, it's about discovering who I am, because I never really knew who I was, so through all that traumatic stuff at the beginning, I have now come out the other side. So I've come out of the darkness and into the light. And I'm really glad to get this opportunity to speak tonight, because, some people don't understand that how being on a spiritual journey, on a self-discovery and discovering about your ego and what's ego and what's spirit, there's so much in with it, and it's been the highlight of my life, and I would never ever go back, and I'm just really humble.
It's interesting though, as a medium, Leanne, that you're very honest about the fact that you're still developing. Okay.
Yes.
And I personally believe, as a medium, and I did it recently in lockdown with oh my gosh, the name's just gone out. Leanne, and a lot of mediums. We all got together and we were still doing readings for each other, just kind of keeping things going. It's really important as mediums that we keep developing, because mediumship is constantly changing.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, go on ahead.
Go on. I interrupted you.
My development side, I really, because I was such a wee hermit, I was such a wee hermit, you see. I tried to develop by myself, sitting in the house, trying to do some meditations and buying loads of crystals and all. And I realized that as much as I want to sit in the house and sit in the power and things like that there, I needed to get into a circle. So I did do a couple of circles prior to the one I'm in at the minute. And I've done like wee angel classes and things, and I went online, and I threw myself out there. I went onto my Facebook and I did live readings, like live psychic readings. That's the way I developed my psychic side first. And then I've moved on to my mediumship side. So I pretty much, yeah.
That's really brave of you to do that. Just, hey, let's just go and jump on a live audience and, people, that's difficult. That's really brave for you to do that.
Yeah, not many people do that, Leanne.
I know. Do you know what though? I wish I could bottle what I have. Considering where I came from, I wish I could bottle it and give it to other people. Like, I don't know, as much as I was a wee hermit, I can pretty much speak to anybody, but I was a wee bit nervous about coming on tonight, even though I've done lives and stuff before, but I just know that this is my purpose,
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your amazing story. And it is interesting how, again, you're another medium that's had also a traumatic experience. It's not the first time on Spiritual Talk that people have battled alcohol, and you've come out the other side. and it must be an amazing feeling. I mean, do you find when you're working that experience is trying to turn a negative into a positive that actually helps you with people, connect with people, that whether it's with alcohol or drug addiction or other issues, it must help them in that dark place that you go into?
Yeah, it's helped me to have empathy and compassion for other people who have gone through what I have gone through. So I try to keep an open mind and to not judge. I know I'm human, but I try to. Do you know what? It was that part of my life that has made me who I am at this minute in time. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to ask some questions, or ask the audience to ask some questions. But already we've got questions flying in already, and I believe it's Wayne has asked a picture. He's coming in for the spiritual talk group, so we can't actually see your name, but it is Wayne, I believe. Why does it feel like my guides are changing constantly? I can feel it when I'm doing readings. So do you have that experience? Have you found your guides are changing or have changed since your early part of your development?
I found a couple of times I found two different guides coming in. The way my guides, I don't know if it's maybe going to help or not, but I found my guides, when my guides are going to change over, I get physical signs. So I'll maybe see, like there was at one stage I had a guide, a travel guide coming into me, working with me. I'm not sure why they constantly change. I think it's to do with, for me, it depends where I'm at on my journey and what I'm going through, or what, especially with readings, it depends on who I'm communicating, who the sitter is, and what is coming through. I find that if I'm doing a reading and someone has maybe had a traumatic time, because I find that I get people who have also had traumatic situations coming to me, I find that the guide will be different than maybe someone else, with a different experience,
Absolutely.
I think it's personal. It's very personal, and that's the thing. I think with the spirit world, what my experience may be with my guides will be totally different to the other people's. It's a very personal one.
Absolutely.
And also, your guides will work with the other person's guides as well, so you'll get that connection above you and around you as well. So that's a unique way it all works as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's another question here from Carol, and I was going to ask this about your development as well. How do your personal relationships in terms of partners or family, children, how do they feel about your mediumship? Is it something you've done yourself for a while, or?
Well, the people closest to me would be my dad and my mum and my stepdad and my daughter, and really that's it. But my dad is, even though he's had a wee reading before, he's a wee bit skeptical still. So I don't really say too much to him. My mum, I think my mum and my stepdad are they're very interested. They do support me.
Okay.
My daughter's the big one. My daughter's 12, coming 13 at the end of July, and I've never hid it from her. Yeah. She'll see me talking in the kitchen to my guides, and there's nobody else here, and it's just normal for her, because I don't want her to have the fear factor that I had growing up. So my daughter would be my biggest fan, but is at the age where she's just not really interested. She wants to do her other things,
Right. You may notice that she starts opening up as well, like her mum.
Do you hear? Listen, she already has. But she doesn't really want to recognize it. She's just sure, whatever. She's seen a person standing outside my gate yesterday. We were driving down the road to the house, and I don't allow spirit to come into my house, other people's spirit, unless it's a reading, because my house is my safe space and my place to just be without being bothered, kind of thing. And she's seen a spirit person standing at the gate, and she says, like, he's just standing there, and he's like, you know, she could see the shadow, you know, he was like a shadow.
Yeah.
So someone with, you know, maybe difficulties and stuff like that there. And I was like, right, okay. Came into the house, stood in the kitchen, and asked the archangels and my angels to guide him over to the light. And it's nothing to her, you know.
Is that something you find yourself doing quite a lot, Leanne, helping spirit over?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't like to call them earthbounds. See, I'm very much the type of person that I don't like to put labels on things.
Yeah.
But for someone who can't see the light, you know, for whatever reason, I have had quite a few experiences where, and my guide in physical form is the medium that I had mentioned to you. You know, I would have messaged her, and she has guided me through, you know, how to handle it. And yeah, I do find myself doing that. You know, I've had to do some cleanses and stuff, house cleanses and things, but it's all good. You know, it's all good.
Awesome. There's more questions coming in. Hi, everyone who's joining. Hi, Kay. It's lovely to see new people always.
Yeah, hi.
Do you see, Carol has asked, do you know if you have an auras around you? And if so, what colours are? What do the colours mean? Is that something, because I work with auras. I love working with auras. And a gentleman that we've had on the talk inspired me to connect with auras. Do you connect with colour in your mediumship, or?
I suppose I do connect with color. I mean, I can see auras at times if I'm present enough.
Yeah.
But really, the way I sense auras about people, it's almost like I have seen colors around people, but it's almost like I get like a feeling for the color.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I see my strongest clair is claircognizance. So whatever comes in comes straight out. So it's all bundled up within a feeling that I have, and then it just comes out. But like, I had a wee meeting this morning with someone, and I on Zoom, and I could see that she had blue, like a blue hue beside her. And I knew for me, when I was talking to her, it was her, you know, her throat area, because with the color blue. Yeah. But again, I tend to not, you know, put it in concrete that this color means that and that color means that, because again, to me, I have to have a very open mind when I'm working with the spirit world, you know. Yeah. So I do. So it really just depends. You know, purple would be like a healing color, and green, but it also depends on what part, you know, if it's in the emotional body or the mental body, do you know, or if there's any physical elements. So it really depends. And I think sorry.
No, so I go on.
I think the best thing to do is really to go by what you feel. You know, what your intuition tells you, rather than doing what I did at the start and look up all these meanings for different things. And I don't think anything's ever set in stone, you know, so just go by how you feel, or your intuition, and let that guide you, you know. Don't be too set on what anybody else is doing or saying, you know. That's just my personal thought.
Sounds to me, Leanne, you are working with the aura.
Yeah, potentially. Gordon Higginson, he used to talk about the importance of working with color. So it is really important, and it's energy. But do you find with the claircognizance, this is a question that I've found for myself when I'm working, and I know it's just coming in almost without touching any subconscious or conscious aspects of yourself. I hear myself saying things, and it's like I never even had that to even process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sometimes when I hear spirit, I'm aware it's there, and I'm processing it. I'm saying what the message is.
Yeah.
And other times I'm coming out, I'm saying, and it's almost like, wow, it's coming.
Did I just say that?
Through me. Did I just say that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or the other one I would get at times is I would say something and it's completely out of my vocabulary. But say tongue tied there. it's completely out of my dictionary that I would come out with. I was like, oh my word, like seriously, you know. But yeah, you're right. It just comes in and then it's out. And it seems, sometimes I find if I'm sort of channeling, as I call it, my mouth will start to shake. So it will. So I you know, if I'm doing any talks and stuff, it's really weird. Like,
awesome. I'm just
your calling card then, Leanne.
Yeah.
That's what they call your calling card. Or you just
call it. Yeah. It's amazing. Like,
I've got a question for you, because I believe you work with the angelics as well.
Yeah.
How does that, what form does that work for you? How does that come in? When was you aware of you was working with the angelics? And what is your understanding around the angelics? So,
yeah, it started off with the readings for me, so it was the psychic side and then the mediumship side.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years ago, I noticed that, I noticed that my hands would go very, very hot. For no reason, you know, I'm not sitting near a radiator or anything like that. They would just go really burning hot and they would start to tingle. And I remember at the time my wee kitty cat wasn't well. I connect with animals on a deep level as well. And I remember my kitty cat wasn't well, and I just literally put my hands on her, and she had like a cut. So she did, and I put my hands on her and just held them there, and I could feel the heat coming through. I didn't actually know I was going to do it. I just did it, and I kid you not, the next day when I got up and I went over to inspect Lucy and see how she was, I was completely baffled because the cut had completely healed. Like there was nothing there. And I was like, oh my God, there must be something in this. And that was when my healing side came to the forefront. So I started doing a bit of research on angel healing. I was never really drawn to Reiki or anything like that, but the way I do it is it's the hands-on healing is what I do. That's, you know, I will stand over the person if they're on the bed, and I'll connect in with my guides. I work with, I need to keep things simple. I'm like a simple kind of person, and my guides know this. And I connect in with the archangels, Raphael, Archangel Michael, the Gabriel, and the Archangel Uriel. I connect with my guides and the angels, and I literally, I don't let my ego isn't even there. I just let the healing come out, and that's the way I work. But also with color as well. You know, I have my own technique using color over the body.
Yeah.
And with me, you know, I use the music because I connect as well with music, and I do distant healing, you know, in the four walls here. I do some distant healing. I work with seawater as well, and just my own unique way of doing it. I call it just angel healing, and that's what I do, you know. And I can feel when the angels are close to me, because I go extremely hot and I start to sweat. I sweat buckets, you know, and I just let whatever it is that comes down. It's, do you know, when I connect with spirit, it's almost like fizzing a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
And you get the bubbles coming out of the top.
Yeah.
When my connection with the angels opens up, that it's like my head's blown off me, and it's just literally coming down in and then out. I don't put too much in, am I doing this right, or anything like that there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds awesome. We've had so many other questions coming in. There's some great ones. In terms of, I mean, Effie's made a good point. She has something similar with her hand. She feels the heat coming in. I as well get that sometimes, and I sometimes find it could be someone walking past me, or I'm in the environment of, and you start to realize that this person is you're a conduit. So it's quite interesting. I think Wayne has said is that you, Wayne? I think he tends to sweat a lot. Also, that's interesting. Yeah. Also, Sharon has asked what colours. Do you find that when the colours change, it depends on what they need as a person? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But again, I go with whatever the angels are wanting me to do. I just go with that, you know. I just go with what they're wanting to do, you know.
Sorry, mate.
Go on. I was just going to say, do you get the tingling in the hands as well, Leanne? Like
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I do get the tingling. Yeah, I do.
Go on, mate.
Awesome. Now there's another question here. Here we go. Do you think, this is from Andrea, do you think angels can appear in a human form?
Personally, I believe they can, because at the end of the day, they are energy, and I feel, for me, my perspective is that in whatever, the angels will come to you in whatever shape or form they can, that you will resonate with and won't scare the crap out of you. I mean, they're not going to scare you anyway, because they're pure love. But they'll come to you in the best way that you'll receive them. Yeah. So I believe they can be human form. They can be animal form. They can be whatever way you're going to be able to better receive. That's the way I can put it.
I always think sometimes human beings are influenced by angels and so their deeds and what they do.
Yes, 100%. I've had experiences quite recently where I've maybe been, my car broke down on me, and somebody came. It was actually in a garage, so I was in getting petrol and stuff, and my car broke down, and somebody had pulled in and stopped and came out and actually asked me, was I okay? Did I need any help? And he phoned a car place and then said to me where to go and what have you. And then that was it. I thanked him and off he went. And I do believe that the angels and your loved ones and your guides will influence other people. I believe that source works through people as well as many other ways, you know.
Yeah.
And I was just left feeling, oh my God, isn't this beautiful? Like that there is still genuine people out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. When you least expect it as well. Sharon has asked a good question. This is an interesting one. I don't know if you feel the same way about this, Anthony, as well.
Yeah.
Do you find, she's put, what time of day works best for your gifts? Do you find there's a better time of day of working? For me, I can't do early mornings. Not at all. Not before 11. Not happening.
I would love to be able to do early mornings, and in fact, nearly every night I set my alarm clock for 5:30, and then do I get up at 5:30 in the morning? No. Wow. I set my alarm so I can get up and sit and connect in and, you know, have a boost throughout my day. It doesn't work. I don't know what it is with me and sleep. So for me, it's more in the afternoons, and it has to be when my daughter is either at school or if she's away, you know, at my mum's or something like that. I have tried to do it at nighttime, but then I sit in the power, and then I end up being up half the night because I'm completely and utterly wired up, you know. So afternoons for me at the minute.
Even when you're in the power, you get wired up from it.
I just can't seem to sleep. I probably need grounded more, because I do have a bit of an issue where I do need to keep grounding myself, but I'm human. I've other things to do as well, so I know I need to work on my grounding, but I feel that's what it is. You know.
Well, I'm completely different then.
Are you?
I must be. Mine's more the evening, like
right.
Now. But anything from sort of latter afternoon, really. But even when I've done my circles for groups of people, it's always been the evening. So, but I think it depends. Like spirit, no, they're more intelligent than we are. You know, so if we're an evening person or a morning person, they're going to work with that
They know what works for us. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
But do you not think also it's your body clock in terms of how you're set up as well, and the rhythms and the vibration of spirit that help us? So for me, I don't mean to. I end up going to bed late. You know, and if I've been working with spirit in the evening, I then find like I'm doing a demonstration on Friday. That coming down takes me a couple of hours.
Yeah.
You find that excitement of working with spirit and their energy. It's a beautiful thing, but for me, I take a little while to come down. So early mornings, not a thing. Sorry. I wish I could get up at 5:30. I'd get so much more done.
Do you know the other thing that I have found? I can't drink as much caffeine as I used to be able to. I've had to cut out now. I'm still getting there, like, but I've had to cut out drinking caffeine, like tea. I drink decaffeinated tea and decaffeinated coffee because I don't know. It's obviously because my vibration is rising. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
change it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was told by to raise my vibration as well recently by no certain time. So I've become vegetarian for the last almost a month. So and I do feel lighter and I feel brighter and I feel more energetic. So I'm not going to knock it.
Yep.
And I've really been trying to resist that sausage and egg roll that I'm a bit accustomed to some mornings. But yeah, no. So I do feel much better for it. And I found I'm drinking decaf tea, decaf coffee. You know, even toothpaste, take fluoride out, trying to raise my vibration that way.
Yep.
So
I take kelp tablets every day. They're meant. I don't know if the way they have to, sell something like. But I've been taking kelp tablets for sea kelp for a few years now to help with the decalcification, of the pineal gland. But you know what? We're not perfect. Spirit doesn't expect us to be perfect and cut out all the crap of the day,
Yeah, absolutely. If you're working with spirit, I'm sure there's many people out there that are listening tonight that already work with spirit. It does help you. I feel, for me personally, it's really helped my connection with spirit. It's starting to.
Yeah.
And I never used to eat meat 2 or 3 days before doing a demonstration.
Right.
And I found that really helped me. So I knew I had to cut it out at some point.
Yeah.
But then I like the odd sausage, so it's a bit. That sounds rude. But why can I go with that? But I like the odd steak as well. So So
do the both of you eat before you do a reading or a demonstration?
Definitely don't drink. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Don't mix the two spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As they say.
That's almost. Yeah. I'm not going to go there. I was going to crack a joke. It's a joke I heard recently. Okay. So.
No, definitely food wouldn't be.
You're going to have to tell us that after.
I will. Don't worry. So. This is an interesting question for Zoe. Hi, Zoe. What's been the favorite part of your journey so far? Because you had a difficult start to your journey. What has been the favorite?
For me, I think my favorite part of the journey, well, if I could have two, one is feeling my spirit around me. My personal spirit is just having that connection. The favorite part probably would be getting, like, I would get a lot of hearts and stuff and rocks and things and different wee signs, and I think just receiving like I don't need confirmation that spirit is there because I know they're there. But I love receiving like wee hearts and things just on a day that I'm maybe not feeling great. And the other thing, which is quite weird probably, but it's when I have those realization moments about certain things, about my journey, because I've had quite a long healing journey within myself, and I have found out so much about myself that I didn't even know existed, So I think like the wee realization moments for me, the wee light bulb moments is one of them. And I remember going into an AA group. Oh my God. I went into an AA group, and I was, because I just speak, whatever's in my mind, I speak it. And I remember trying to explain that I had this massive realization, and I can't even remember what it was about, but I spoke it, and oh my God, people were looking at me as if to say, she's not right in the head, you know. But yeah, I suppose the realizations and getting the wee signs and just feeling spirit and how wonderful they are when they really come in to help you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love about Spiritual Talk is how people on our stream, when they're sending messages, some people are asking questions. Sharon's just helped Wayne with a question because he was asking what type of tablets they were. I love that about you guys. I love the way you all talk.
Well done helping each other.
Yeah, we love the whole community thing. It's fantastic. We have got a great question from, I believe I have to go into my group to see this. I believe it's from Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining the show all the way from Australia.
Wow. Hi.
7 in the morning. Do you know why spirit guides are assigned to you? Do they choose us?
For me personally, I feel that before I incarnated on Earth here, that I communicate with the spirit guides on the other side because I have a particular job to do. I believe that on one hand, I have helped, decide who's going to help me on certain parts of my journey. And I also do feel that I do feel that at times there is maybe a new guide that comes in. Like I'm in the middle of writing a book at the moment. It's about my life story. And,
what's that called, Leanne, so we can look out for it?
Pardon?
What's the book called so we can look out for it?
Right. Okay. It's called Untold Truth.
Okay.
And it's kind of like putting an end, close to that chapter of my life, and then I'll be going on to my wee spiritual stuff. But I find that I had asked for a guide to come in and help me to work on my book. And I received signs from her. She's a female. Her name's Daisy. She used to be a writer when she was here over in England, and she comes in. So I believe, on some level, we help to choose our guides before we incarnate, and new guides can come in, because at the end of the day, I feel that because we have free will, we can change our direction in life, so although I had a set story to complete in this lifetime, I could still go off the track a bit because I have that free will. So I believe, like, on certain levels, there's different guides that come in, if that helps. That's just my thoughts,
Yeah, absolutely. Carol's put, I have to connect every day to thank the creator, archangels, and spirit guides. It's great to be thankful. It's great to just be humble.
It is. Yeah.
And being with us.
I kind of think like that was to an answer to a question that somebody had already said to me about what's one of the best things, finding out about my ego. That was one of the biggest things for me, was realizing how my ego works, but now I've gone off, I've forgotten what I was going to say. That's me.
Oh yeah, do you know what? I'm terrible at that. And I got COVID about a month ago. Honestly, it just goes sometimes. Mind you, maybe it's an age. Nice. But oh my gosh, there's so many great questions coming in from people. Hi Carol, are your guides male or female, and do you see their power animals?
I work with all three. Most of my guides, for whatever reason, maybe I enjoyed being a man more than a woman, but most of my guides are male. I have a few family members who are acting as guides to me and have different purposes. And I think that's for me, it's about safety. I was the type of person that never really had any sort of safety. So it's important that my guides were family members that step forward, but I do have other guides, like my mediumship guide is a male. I have the female guide who helps me with my book, and I have animal guides as well. I attract animals like I don't know what. I was saying to Anthony actually about bees are really attracted to me. Like they come to me when they're sick, you know, in their last days, and I nurse them while they're
hang on a sec. Did you say bees?
bees.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that because mediumship and what we do to a lot of people, we're weird anyway.
It's weird. But yes, I have a lot. Like there's one wee bee in particular that I had saved, and he was lying in the water and he was obviously on his back, and I had seen him and I lifted him out and I brought him home and gave him some water and syrup, and he couldn't fly. So I made him up like a wee box and flowers and stuff in it, and he stayed with me for about 5 days, and then he passed over. And ever since then, like I can even at times I can feel the buzzing where he's on me, you know. And I my pets as well that are in spirit, they come to me as well, and I can feel them. And I do have 2 power animals that I work with, and one of them is a jaguar.
Yep. Oh, beautiful.
I call her Jan, and the other one is called, because I like to name things, and the other one is a lion. The lion helps me to stand in my power. It helps me to you know, to be just to basically own my power and own my right to be here. So she's with me, and the jaguar is a very protective energy. So I would call Jan in, you know, to help filter out the negativity and just to patrol me. So yeah,
I love
definitely that. Weird, like I'm loving it.
I've got in your character as well, isn't it, Leanne?
Yeah.
Especially with the story of what you said so far, where you've come from, where you are now, and where you're going. So I suppose the next question is, where are you going? Do you have any plans spiritually?
Yes, spiritually, what I want to do is, my whole reason for doing this is when I first went to, you know, when I started going to mediums after my friend, that some mediums were quite expensive, and you know, I was maybe in a bad place, and don't get me wrong, I didn't run to mediums every time I had any problems, but I found that I want to move on to doing spiritual readings as like a, you know, almost like a part-time job, not full-time. I'm not in it for the money. So I've done a wee business course, and I have set up a website, and I'm on Facebook as well. And I'm trying to just put the word out there to see if anybody wants any readings done. Because I started off by, you know, doing readings. And I wasn't charging for the readings because I just didn't, because I was in that place myself. And as the years have went on, I remember I've given a reading to someone, and I remember her saying to me a couple of months later that everything that I had said had came to fruition. And she guided me and says, Leanne, you need to be doing this. Like, you need to be doing this professionally. So I'm trying to set up my own wee business, but I want it to be affordable. You know, I'm not in it for the money. Yeah. I'm not in it to make loads of money at people, because that's just not me. And I know that this is the thing I feel, you know, for a spiritual business for myself. To me, there's like a fine line in what I do, you know, between the ego and between the heart. Yeah. So I try to work from the heart. I do work from the heart anyway, but because mediums get so many bad reviews, you know, they're out to get the money, and you know yourselves what it's like. Whereas I want to find a balance of not working from the ego, but keeping it within the heart. And I know that if I was to start charging too much or whatever, Spirit would they would just cut me off to give me a big lesson, you know. But yes, I'm trying to set up my own spiritual business, you know, and I want to be able to teach as well, because part of my life purpose is teaching, and it's teaching about my own experiences. So basically, I will never ever teach anything that I have never experienced. So the likes of, just to give you an example, because I had a big massive issue with it myself, in protecting yourself, right? I have come to the realization, one of those wee light bulb moments not that long ago, was that I can protect myself by becoming empowered. Because I came from a very disempowered state of mind growing up, other people had power over me, and you know the story. And I realized that, hold on a minute, I actually have the power to protect myself from within, because sources within me, I can exude, you know, the angels. To me, everything comes from within. So I used to think that the angels, the Archangel Michael, came from outside of me, but to me they come from within side out. And one of the biggest lessons for me, which I want to be able to teach others if they're drawn to me and resonate, is that you can protect yourself by, you know, becoming empowered in your own power, you know. But that's just a wee snippet there, but there's a lot that I want to do. And yeah, sorry, I can ramble on.
Sorry, Leanne. I mean,
you're not rambling on. You make perfect sense.
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds to me like spiritual counselling as well. The way you're sort of sharing energy as well.
Do you know what I did? I actually, a few years back, I went and got my counselling degree in counselling, and I went to go on to a further course of study within the counselling field. But I found that although I was reading about Carl Jung and all these, you know, great theorists and all this here, I just found there was something missing. Because I found, and this is where my healing side comes in, I just found that sometimes, you know, maybe because I found talk therapy to be really, really good for me, but I just find that some of the like psychodynamics and all, I just found that sometimes, you know, these, like, you need to get to the root of the issue, but it goes deeper than just a physical, you know, or emotional or mental. To me, there's like a spiritual side to it. And when I was trying to get on to the next levels, the counselling, every door was shut. I couldn't get on to into any college or anything like that there, because every door was shut. And I was like, is this not what you want me to do? And then I found out that, you know, the whole thing about spiritual life coaching. So I have a long way to go. So at the minute, I'm concentrating on the readings, and if any healing comes to me, I'm doing that as well. But yeah, I find that there is a spiritual, even see with my addiction to alcohol, I actually found that there was a spiritual component to that as well.
Okay.
You know, there was a deeper thing that I needed to look at, you know.
So can I ask you, Leanne, a lot of us, not just mediums, a lot of us are on a self-healing journey. In terms of your experiences and trauma that people, I'm trying to kind of generalize this a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
How would you see, I mean, obviously from what we understand about your mediumship, you're combining the life coaching, the counseling, and that sense of spirituality, because it's really important. But how do we as people heal ourselves? What is that when you talk about the root cause of a situation? So for instance, our programming, it might be something from as a child. Do you find that something specific works for you? I mean, I know, I think, who was a famous philosophy guy from the 30s talking about releasing energy. When we visualize an incident, say something that happened in our childhood, it kind of, once the adult brain looks at it, releases that, because we can kind of look at it from a different perspective. Do you find that works?
Yeah, to me, it's all about having a higher understanding. It's about being the eagle in the sky and seeing things from a different perspective. So if I can say this, with my childhood trauma, there was a perpetrator, okay? And for years I struggled with forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I had, I had PTSD. I was labelled with this, that, and the other, and then the alcoholism as well. And I found that I had to look at because I had very low self-worth and stuff, and I was able to sit down with myself, and I did a lot of journaling. So I would have sat and journaled how I was feeling. I would have done some research on the internet about, low self-worth, about how, trigger warning here, how abusers can affect the person internally deeply. And so it was a lot of journaling. It was a lot of salt baths. I would have get into my baths. I would have prayed to Archangel Michael and to cut away the cords. I would have asked to help me to find some sort of forgiveness for this person.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I did a lot of stuff. I would have watched a lot of movies and things with similar experiences, and I don't know what it was, but it was like a pin. It was just like, again, light bulb moment. I keep saying, came to me that even someone like my perpetrator, he was a hurt child himself in some shape or form. He was also a hurt child, and unfortunately he took his pain out on me. And that was where my compassion and my empathy really blew me to bits. I remember, so yes, to not go off topic, I remember sitting in the courtroom because I had to go through the whole hog. And I just felt sorry for him. I just had this, I knew at that moment, it was forgiveness settled in. But yes, I had to do a lot of journaling for me, a lot of praying, asking for guidance. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research on the programming, the belief systems, and different things, and I found that wherever I was drawn to, I resonated with, and it just made things so much. It made a lot more sense to me, because I would be a dissector. You see, I have to look into everything, and I asked for a lot of help from my guides and my loved ones and the angels, and that's where I am here today. I'm able to talk about it, and I'm not triggered in any shape or form, and I hope I haven't triggered anybody else here. But
the healing you're going through in the process, do you find by the self-healing you're also a lighter vibration and helping your mediumship?
Yes, 100%. And I meant to say, it's all about awareness. It's becoming aware of your body and how your body feels, and that's me going through that healing process. And I'm sure there's more down the line that I'll have to do at some point, because we're always learning and growing. But I found that I just felt lighter, and it helped me with my connection. I'm starting to, recently, like in the last, I would say 6 months, I'm starting to hear spirit, physically hear spirit in my ears. And it's because I believe that when you have something, even if it's grief or, some sort of loss, no matter what it is, I feel sometimes if we don't heal that properly, it can, because it's energy, it can become stuck within the body. So even the likes of Reiki, I did actually go to a few Reiki sessions and stuff. I did some, the crystal healing on myself and things to get the energy move. So that's what it was. It was like to get the energy moving, meditation. But I do find that when we go through things in life, that can put like barriers up. But as you look at something that needs to be healed, and chances are sometimes maybe something will come into your head repeatedly, and you're like, why does that keep coming up? And if you're emotionally triggered by it, then there'll be a wee bit of healing there. But I find that once you look at it, so it's having the awareness, and then it's having the willingness, so awareness, willingness to look at it and allow it to come through, to process it. You need to process it. And once you process it through crying or screaming up at a mountain or whatever it is, or even doing something creative, and it takes time. It's not overnight. Then I found that my whole vibration started to lift, once I brought those bricks down.
In terms of just taking that a bit deeper, and it might not be in the case of you, do you find that ancestral healing can come into that as well?
Yes. And 100%.
Okay.
I had a big one to look at, and it was to do with family karma. Well, it's ancestral, but it was about the alcoholism, because there was alcoholism in my family line as well.
Right. Okay.
Ancestors gone, and there was manipulation. There was different things that I realized, and again, it was like, oh, holy moly! And here's me, like, sitting with all this. What do I do with this? So I started to look at each one, and for me, the ancestral healing, I feel a part of my purpose here was to come in at some stage to have that battle with alcohol. Yeah. Have a battle with sugar at the minute, but I'm still working on that one. But with the alcohol,
me too.
It's fucking hard, oh my God. But 100%, the ancestral healing, I looked at it and I says, right, if I'm the one to try and heal myself, I found that to heal the ancestral patterns in my family, I found that I had to heal myself. Yeah. And that's where that came in. So I basically, because I work with water, so I literally did an ancestral pattern to clear both sides of my parents' sides.
Can I stop you right there? Sorry, Dan. I don't. So from a layman's point of view, or someone sitting at home that's thinking, how could I go about healing that ancestral line?
Yeah.
So, aren't they? So. Everyone's different with their lineage as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and do you know what? What works for one person may not work for another. Yeah. But I feel that it's about I sat down and I had a list. So I sat down and read out a list, and I was able to pinpoint, obviously, the alcohol. That was the big thing. There was smoking as well. So that's all the addictive. That's the addictive part. But then there was manipulation. There was low self-worth. So I read out a list of what I had, read out a list, and then I did a lot of, I did the meditation. I would do the go onto YouTube and do the Native American music. I put the ancestral chants and stuff on.
Yeah.
And so the likes of meditation, even do you know what? Awareness, setting the intention, because I believe the intention is everything.
Yeah.
By you setting the intention that you're going to heal whatever pattern it is, even if you're not sure what pattern that you have, but there's something there, set the intention that you're going to heal yourself and heal your ancestors past and future, because the way we're all on just it's not linear timeline. Yeah. My God, that's a whole topic. You could do one of those.
Absolutely. And I had the similar experience with my guidance when I started receiving help from upstairs.
Yep.
One of the first things they said to me, that your intention is everything.
Yeah, 100%.
It really is.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that.
That's it. I never knew that until maybe 2 years into on my spiritual journey, and I was just like, oh my God, it's so easy. I wouldn't be surprised someday when I go back home, I'd be like, seriously, it was that easy, but you know what? I make things complicated. It's my ego that complicates things, you know.
But that's a normal thing, though, because the ego is the program, and it's also the part that we need to kind of exist in this three-dimensional reality. I know the ego is changing, or well, we're trying to transcend the ego, but at what point do you can't put away the ego completely? So I think that the secret with that is recognizing what's your ego.
Yeah.
And then rising above it. So, and I think after a while, it's almost like, was it Gandhi used to say, your habits become basically your intention, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Said that
See,
I know.
It's the aware. Like, I know. Do you know what? I know when my ego's off the rocker. I know when my ego's off on one. You know, and it could just be the fact that maybe somebody has been up, you know, up the back of me on the road, and I start to get a little cross, and do you know what I mean? We do need the ego, and the ego to me it's neither good nor bad. It just is, as you say, it's there. We need it to help us, you know, because at the end of the day, we need our ego, I feel, to have discernment, you know, to be able to discern between who's good for you. Do you know what I mean? To be able to discern between situations and people. Whereas if we were all just spirit in a human form, well, we are spirit in human form, but if we didn't have the ego, we would all be all love and light. And do you know what I mean? In that sort of sense. So we need it for the duality of this planet.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The awareness of knowing the difference, though, isn't it? The awareness of your ego is part of your character as well. We're all different, unique. Yeah, that's perfect in one way of looking at it, but all of us aren't perfect as well.
That's it.
But it's almost coming full circle, Anthony. It's almost coming full circle, mate, to your experience of choosing your parents.
Yeah.
The ego is molded around what the soul desires to achieve, surely. If a soul desires to achieve a certain things and you know, experiences, then we kind of got to have the ego that would kind of fit in with that journey.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we got to forgive ourselves and recognize what the lessons are rather than worrying about our ego.
Yeah.
It's also looking at it from a spiritual point of view, they would have had ego as well, you know, in a spiritual form, because that the characters that come through when given a reading.
That's right.
To know who granddad is, who, you know, your
that's right.
mother, whoever, you know. It's
like, the way I feel about it is, you know, when the likes of, you know, your grandfather or somebody comes like my wee friend said to me, you know, in the reading last week in the mediumship circle, says to me, because I'm looking for my soulmate, as you guys know.
I'll put a banner up for that.
Yes, please. And he came through, and he knows how I know how to take him, because he was just funny in life. And he turned around and says, she's a fussy BITCH, and I just started laughing. But I feel they take the good, they take their there's the ego there. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God, yeah,
absolutely. But then with I also think with finding true love. I mean, I've had conversations with my guide when I ask him what is the purpose for our creation, what is the purpose, and I get simple things like to understand simply love. And all these different aspects and all our different relationships that we have with people, and understanding who we truly are. I'm like, oh, okay. You think it'd be more nuanced? It probably is, but they put it in such a simplistic form.
It all comes back to love again, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
There is one more question I'd love to. I'm sorry, guys, we've kind of run over on time, but there is one more question I'd like to ask, because I think it's a really important question from Liz. Hi, Liz. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Liz.
Is distant healing as effective as in-person hands-on?
Yes, I believe it is, and for me, it's down to the intention. So whether or not a person or an animal or Mother Earth, as I would do, you know, on a bigger scale for me, to me, it's the same, because it's the intention. You're setting the intention to heal, to allow your angels to come in, and your guides and that, and come in and heal. So to me, it doesn't matter. To me, it's more personal if you have someone there in the same room with you, and I prefer to work that way. But for if someone can't get to you, I do believe that the intention, because it's energy and you're putting that energy out, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Effie, for that comment.
Thank you.
Effie, so many people saying you're a wonderful soul.
Thank you.
So do we need to hear, this is from Wayne again, I believe. Hi, Wayne. I believe it's for you. Sorry if it's not, if I've got it wrong. No, I don't know. I get confused. It might be from Nicola. Anyway, sorry, Nicola. So do we need to heal and forgive to be able to have a better connection with spirit, please? What if I'm not ready to forgive but want to talk to spirit to help others? That's interesting.
Good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to contradict myself here in a previous answer or not, but I feel like you don't. Okay, so you don't need to forgive. You don't need to forgive. I mean, it's your own free will. So if you want to, spirit will work with you no matter what. It's the same with even if you put toxins into your body, and eat all the wrong stuff and drink loads of Coke and smoke and have a drink, spirit will still work with you. They will adjust to this is just my understanding, they will adjust to your energy. So even if you have unhealed wounds and you can't forgive and you're not ready to forgive, spirit will still work with you, I don't feel that, so please don't think that they won't work with you. They will work with you no matter what, because you are light, your energy, and you're a beautiful soul. So they will work with you. They'll work with everybody. It's a bit like the angels. I remember one time a medium said to me that the angels won't work with me. And I never really understood it, but at that time I had a lot of issues, and now, from my understanding, my angels were always around me, and that lady basically told me something that wasn't true. So even though I had a lot of issues going on with inside myself, the angels were they were with me. There is no distinction. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, that you've just brought up. I mean, there was times, there's no such thing as 100% mediumship. And there's always going to be, like we talked about, the ego sometimes getting in the way. Also, with that, so if we do get a message, I always say to people, if it feels right, go with it.
Yeah.
Don't, the medium could be having a bad, for whatever reason they've got it wrong. So I would say good mediums, 90% of what they come with is good evidence, etc. Because that's what we're trying to do, inspire people, bring in proof of life after death.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, mate, you're going to say something?
I was going to back you up on that, mate, to be honest, because we're all here to help people at the end of the day. If you're not, you shouldn't be involved in it if you're not.
Yeah.
And about passion and, it's a calling rather than, than anything else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although my dear friend, she was told by a medium that she would meet her soulmate in a park in Norwich. And I believe she got an ASBO for hanging around the park too much. She never met him.
Oh my God.
Then she went back to that psychic and hi Donna, if you're listening, I've just outed you live on Facebook. But she went back to that medium and they said that, I'd said I'd meet my loved one. And they said, no, I've got it wrong. It's actually at the swimming lessons where your son and daughter go swimming. You're going to meet somebody there. And she booked at the local swimming pool. Guess what happened? All the instructors were girls. So she's like, do be careful. And it's interesting. You've said something in your bio that said, if you feel attracted or connected to me, and do you know what? And that is a great thing. If you feel connected to that person for a reading, that is also a good sign that you've got like some kind of infinity or there's something they can help you with.
Yeah, like I was saying to a girl, it's funny how spirit works, because the business mentor I'm going to be doing a reading for, she wants me to do a reading. And it's funny how spirit works, because spirit just comes straight in, and I was like, well, you just have to wait, you know what I mean? But yes, where was I going with that? What were you saying there?
Oh, about the messages that we receive from certain mediums,
Yes,
or psychics, and how they can get it wrong. I
yes,
know I was being light-hearted, and I was,
that's right.
but
It's like I was saying to this girl today, it's about the connection. When you are with the right medium, you'll be guided to them.
yeah,
But there, for me and my sitters, there is a connection. Like they feel a connection, you know, between them and me. There is a connection. You can feel it. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I have been to a medium before that told me that I was not a medium, but he was not working from the heart for whatever reason, the ego. But he told me that I wasn't a medium, and I went away thinking, what's going on here? Like, you know, it really affected me. Like the other comment where the lady told me the angels wouldn't work with me. So you do need to. Do you know what? It's about discernment. It's about what feels right, as you say, what feels right for you, and if you feel that, do you know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely, totally, 100%. Wayne's hi Wayne, he's come on YouTube, and because we go live into mine and Anthony's YouTube, so great to see you on here, Wayne. Do I need a teacher to improve my mediumship, or would it come to me stronger as I go along, and my guides will give me more?
I think. Sorry.
Good question. That's all I was going to say. Good question.
Yeah, I think it's very individual. For me personally, I tried to do it by myself in the house, especially over lockdown and stuff. I was connecting with spirit, but for me, I had to basically throw myself out there and start working. So I started by doing online live readings, like psychically. So
Wow.
I actually had to work on my psychic side. You know, that your intuition, you know, I had to work on that to strengthen it.
Yeah.
And then my mediumship came in. And the only way, like my medium friend has always told me, Leanne, the only way to strengthen your abilities is to get working, is to start working. Even if, as she said, friends and family to start off with, do it that way and you'll develop. Now, I did, personally for me, I did go and sit in a couple of circles, but they never lasted that long. I was there maybe for 6 weeks or something, and then something was put in place to stop me from going, and it was always my car broke down. So I found a bit of, maybe a bit of both. If you feel like you would like to maybe go and sit in a circle, look at stuff, on YouTube and stuff as well. But the only way for me is really to start practicing your abilities. Maybe if you're into like angel cards, or if it's like tarot cards, get yourself a wee set of cards and, use them on yourself, get to know them. It doesn't do any harm to look out to a teacher. I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube, different teachers and stuff out there, whilst I was in lockdown and stuff. And I think maybe a bit of both. It just depends on how your system works and how your guides and that are working with you.
Do you think also, as a question for both of you two guys, do you think that there should be, some people can rely too much on teachers here when actually we should try to develop our guidance? We talked a lot about guides tonight. And I think it's not about responsibility, but I think it's a good thing to have that connection. The deeper the connection, how many guests have we had on here, Anthony?
Yeah.
So many guests that talk about the connection sitting in the power, connecting with spirit. And I think Is it? I mean, I don't know for you guys, but for me, it's a balance between all things. How about you guys?
It's
Balance.
always balance, yeah. Always.
Yeah. It's about balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So there's no real clear answer, Wayne. I think also what we tend to neglect as we progress, and I think you've covered it beautifully, Leanne, tonight. Really, you've touched a lot of people and what you've been saying. You really have.
Okay.
And it's that two parts of the aspects of our mediumship, not just our mediumship, but the healing, but working with self. And I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the triangle, you know, it's mind, body and spirit. You know, you have to, I think if you want to go down this line of you know, helping, you know, being a wee light worker, you know, you have to be open and willing to work on yourself first and foremost, because that's what happened for me. I had to work on myself to lift a lot of blocks, and then my guides were able to come in, and I was able to get to know my guides, and you know what, it is a life for me. It's going to be a lifetime of learning, and there's going to be stuff that I don't know, but it's all about learning, and it's about making mistakes, even though we don't really make any mistakes. It's just learning curves. So it's like, you know, and we'll get lessons, you know, like I had a reading about 3 months ago, and the girl, it was through Zoom, and I was connecting with her loved ones, but for whatever reason the connection wasn't completely clear, and I was not picking anything up psychically, because I work both ways, psychically and mediumship, and I wasn't picking anything up at all. It was like there was a wall being put down, and I remember I had to say to her, like, I am so sorry, but I have to stop the reading. And I explained to her what happened and why I wasn't able to connect and stuff, and it wasn't her fault, and I refunded her money to her, and I was like, I was gobsmacked. I was so like embarrassed, but you know what? I had to have that experience, you know. So, and then I just pressed on, and I went on to the next reading instead of living in like fear that that's going to happen again. So it's about balance. It's balance, definitely, you know.
So well done for doing that too.
Yeah, I love our conversations, guys, because again, this is what I love about what we do with Spiritual Talk. We get so much people that are struggling with their own mediumship, or there's answers. There's so much. And Kay has put, it's trusting your connection, intuition with spirit and your spirit guide. I've seen, Wayne, if you're listening, I've seen you do some online stuff. You're really good. So when you say maybe there's something missing, maybe that's within you. I'd probably kind of go within you, maybe. But you are very good at what you do. So do you need a teacher? I don't know. Sometimes being self-taught and being brave, guys, going on lives, it takes some doing.
Yeah.
Was you guided that way, Leanne, to do the lives?
What is it?
Was you guided by your own guides to do the lives? Because I'm still can't get over, I'm going to strengthen my psychic connection. I'm just going to jump on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow. You are brave.
It started out by, I'm trying to remember, it just started out by one, you know, I was wanting to do readings. I was wanting to do more readings and stuff. And at that stage, there wasn't people coming to me, you know, with COVID and stuff. And I just thought, because I would have done a lot of talking about trauma and PTSD. I would have went on, like, I tend to get inspirational stuff coming through me. And then I would have just went on and did I would talk about certain aspects of trauma and things and how it affected me, and trying to help, you know, if someone else is in that space where they need help, you know, to give them some maybe comfort or something, or understanding. And then it was like I went on to a group. There was a mediumship group, actually, and they allow people to come on at certain times all throughout, like, America and different places, the UK and Northern Ireland, and I went on. They accepted me, and they asked me to do a live reading, and that's how it started. And I remember it was all psychic at that stage, And I don't know how many people I had, but I would give them like a wee card, maybe 2 or 3 cards or whatever, give what I'm getting. And if it was deeply personal, I would generalize it so that not everybody's hearing it. But that's how I started. Like, it takes a lot of energy out of me, but yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll be on some night and you guys will be like, "Here, can I have a wee card?"
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
going to look out for you now. So absolutely, we're going to look out for you. So
tarot card, Leanne.
I work with the oracle cards, the angel oracle cards. Do you know what? I do have a few tarot decks because I'm addicted to buying cards when I'm out and about in crystal shops and stuff, and that's healthy for me. But I don't know enough about tarot. To be honest with you, the only ones I know is the Tower, because I've had plenty of them moments in my life, and the Fool. I don't really know enough about them. To me, my understanding is it's too structured, with the meanings, whereas I go completely by intuition and what I feel.
Yeah.
But I do love them now, but I don't really use them.
Because
maybe on myself the old time.
Mediumship comes with the tarot. I mean, it's almost like, from my interpretation, it can be like a stepping stone. You've got that bridge between. You're able to connect with people that are, I've been to circles where people start pulling out cards and they learn to connect through the cards to get that connection. Yeah. It can help, absolutely.
That's the other thing I'll point out is just that question that guy was asking about getting a teacher, that I started with cards as well. It was cards with me at the start as well, where I learned to connect them with my intuition. So that's a good thing. That's why I was saying about maybe get some cards and work with yourself,
Yeah. So honestly, guys, we've been going 1 hour and 27 minutes. Me and Anthony were going to work tonight, weren't we?
Time's flown.
This has been such a beautiful, beautiful evening. We've loved sharing it with you, Leanne, and your experiences. But do you want to ask that question, Anthony? I think we kind of touched on it, but we'll do a different spin on. We normally ask what next for you, but if you could help someone on your journey, is there a different way you could help someone to go, or something you'd do differently,
or that you want to do as well?
Can you explain that question a wee bit?
So from your experience when you started working with spirit, is there something you would do differently? Did you put your energies into something you felt were probably could have gone a different way, or?
No. It's all about, it's the spirit connection for me. Even on a simple day for me, I find, and you'll find yourselves, that with being empathic and stuff, people are drawn to you and they'll maybe start telling you their life story. I'm just me, and I talk and I listen. I wouldn't go any other way about it. I let spirit guide me, and that's just the way I am,
Absolutely. Well, can we get you on as a guest on our Paranormal Experience live that we're going to do?
Happy days. Yeah. Yes.
Linda's just come on. Hi, Linda. We're going to get you on at some point as well. She runs, she runs MSI Paranormal. So we're going to get different people in. And Jane also, Jane from Bradwell. She runs her own group. There's so many people out there that are running there. So we want to kind of get into experiences and connecting with spirit, but not just people that do, investigations, but actually people sitting at home that have had their own experiences, and I get asked so many times, what do you think of this experience? What do you think of that? So it'd be good to have that open conversation, and we'll share videos and pictures for everyone to look at as well.
Do you know what? Can I say one more thing? I can talk, as we say over here in Northern Ireland, I can talk for Ulster. Just so he's saying. But I think it's amazing what you two are doing. And I feel like the more that the people come in, to this wee group, the more understanding they'll get of what the spirit world is actually about. And it's about love. Like the one thing that I have found, that it's not what's on TV. It's everything has completely, the spirit world has been completely misconstrued. It's been twisted, and it's you guys are helping to take the fear out, you know. And I think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. That's really kind. And to be honest, I mean, I've actually learnt some things with some of the, and yourself included. We've had so many wonderful guests on here. They've been inspiring, and guys, you know, if you're new to watching Spiritual Talk, they're all available on YouTube and Facebook and stuff to catch up. So we don't charge anything for this. This is something we feel passionate about, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting the spirit out there, and the truth as well. You know, then what's true, you know, what's true to you might be different to yourself. So it is about your own unique experience. And if we help people a little bit, it's, you know, it's leaving that little bit of a legacy, isn't it?
It is.
So, Leanne, we'll see you on platform soon, yeah?
What?
We'll see you on your platform soon.
Yes, indeed. On your paranormal one?
Yeah, we do lives. We're doing a live in July at Roydon, Anthony and I.
Yeah.
So down
in Norfolk. So and we're doing the first one. I think we got Marcus Day in May. So we got some great mediums that are coming and working with us.
I would love to see you. Like,
awesome.
We'll have to go to Ireland then.
Here, listen, there's a spare room. I'm telling you, you are welcome here anytime. Like, as long as you like cats.
Oh yeah, I love cats. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
so guys, it's time to say goodbye, and we'll be back this time next week, won't we, Anthony?
Absolutely.
And thank you.
I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next week, everyone.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Leanne.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.